We've got some of the weirdest and most interesting news stories of the week coming your way right now. We're talking about Wendy's testing out surge pricing for your Frosty, a guy who played the bass through 81 amplifiers, plus what's believed to now be the world's largest snake. I'm Greg Ott, and we've got all this and more coming to you right now on your daily news refresh. But before we slither in, give us a hot subscribe at the News Refresh on YouTube for more weird and interesting news stories each and every day. And like this video so the algorithm knows you want to see more. Thanks. So if you want to enjoy some Wendy's, there's no shortage of food options to fit most budgets and appetites. For those of you looking to make the most of however much life you have left, the 1,280 calorie loaded nacho triple cheeseburger will set you back $10.59 here in New York. The Baconator is $9.79, its offspring is $6.89, and a lowly junior hamburger is $2.59. Now in essence, like most of the things you buy on a regular basis, these prices are usually pretty consistent or predictable. Unless you want to go crazy and add $10 worth of bacon to that triple nacho burger, you're looking at $10.59 plus tax to enjoy this doctor disappointing extravagance. But as crazy as this sounds, it may be about to become much harder to know exactly what your food is going to cost at Wendy's. Because, as laid out in this recent earnings webcast and conference call presentation, Wendy's is gearing up to roll out dynamic pricing. As explained by the nerds at Investopedia, dynamic pricing is a pricing strategy where the price is not firmly set. It fluctuates based on changing circumstances, like the time of day. And yes, this is also known as surge pricing. You know, the type of thing that leads Uber to jack up the rates tenfold when something's going on, or it's raining, or several people need to get somewhere. It's like that, but for your spicy chicken nuggets. Our nation's restaurant news claims Wendy's wants to start trying this out in 2025. And our girl Wendy here is investing tens of millions of dollars into digital menu boards that can help streamline the process of, say, charging you more money for breakfast because, you know, it's breakfast time. Now, it may seem absurd that a fast food place wants to test out whether they can get away with charging you more or less depending on if other people are hungry or something, but this scourge of dynamic pricing is nothing new. And not just from your Lyft driver squeezing an extra 3x fare out of you for having the gall to need a cab when a concert gets out. The good people at Live Nation and Ticketmaster just last week said on their earnings call that they're just scratching the surface of the multi-year opportunity of its dynamic pricing, where, as MarketWatch describes, ticket prices are tied to fluctuations in supply and fan enthusiasm. The kinds of VIP experiences, as in very inflated pricing, employed in the past by the likes of Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, and Drake. Again, they say this is partially based on enthusiasm. As always, perhaps you'll pay a little bit more for Paul McCartney and a little less for Ringo. Peace and love. But it's not only Wendy's or Alicia Keys we're talking about here. As pointed out by the Financial Times last year, these types of software-based supply and demand solutions that have been used for years by airlines and hotels are now raising the price on everything from Amazon products every 10 minutes to individual beers at British pubs during busy weekend hours. For all we know, a penny for your thoughts might cost a quarter someday soon if there's a lot on your mind. Research, of course, has found that this type of thing can reduce competition and harm consumers. And a survey by a business consulting company last year found that most people hate dynamic pricing, and more than half of US consumers surveyed say it's the equivalent of price gouging. Again, Wendy's claims they're not testing out dynamic pricing until 2025. And as a guy who has a hot dog franchise told our nation's restaurant news in 2022, after becoming an early adopter of dynamic pricing, the Apple Vision Pro of charging people more for hot dogs, he claims that dynamic pricing has yielded a 10 to 15 times better return, and believes that there's a lot of room for consumers in terms of price amounts they're going to accept. Generationally, I think we're seeing this being acceptable. But considering fast food like McDonald's has gone viral for basic meals costing almost $20, I think it's safe to say the definition of acceptable is also fluctuating. So if you're looking to make some noise for your business, you've got options. You can inflate a giant creature that urges people to buy automobiles. You could give in to customer demands for free giveaways. Or, like we recently told you about on your news refresh, please subscribe, you could be like that place in Houston that started an OnlyFans to solicit hot nudes. But this newly renovated music venue in Iowa took a slightly different approach to its reopening, hooking a guy up to more than 6 dozen amplifiers.
Doing this at Bel Air, this is the place I wanted to do it.
That guy's name is John Locker, and he's a local musician in Des Moines who was the first musician to test out the newly renovated Bel Air Ballroom. Local news says the place was shut down last year for $15 million worth of renovations, captured here in these tweets. And on Sunday, the venue's first day open to the public commenced at noon sharp with this. John's attempt to break a Guinness World Record.
Today I'm trying the most amps simultaneously, which we've got 81 hooked up right now.
And there at the venue, yep, look at him go. Bass playing for 5 minutes straight through 81 different amps. He initially told Iowa Public News he was going to go for a measly 80 amplifiers, and as the owner of a music gear company, he claims he's got so many amps that he could have done 100, but that would have opened up a host of different technical challenges. Not to mention it might start attracting a bunch of snakes. As part of his grand reopening, plenty turned out to witness a ribbon cutting, some old cars parked in a parking lot, and approximate casual dance while others took to the stage.
It was wonderful to walk in and hear the live music.
As for our record attemptist, Iowa Public Radio claims his 81 amplifier attempt required multiple witnesses and recordings from 4 non-moving wide-angle cameras. And our bassist plans to submit all these materials to Guinness World Records for official review. So if you live in Des Moines, go enjoy a concert at this newly remodeled venue. And if you work for Guinness World Records, enjoy watching a guy noodle through 81 amps. And hey, if you enjoy snakes, check this out. Scientists think they've discovered a new species of snake in the Amazon rainforest, and it's possibly the biggest in the world. Whether you were looking for a new nightmare or a new neckwear, this here is the newly identified northern green anaconda. A team with the University of Queensland spotted several of these things while filming an upcoming TV show, and they claimed they saw one female that was more than 20 feet long. Check out this Instagram video from Dr. Freak Vonk, which sounds like the name of a funk band but is actually a Dutch wildlife biologist and TV host who swims right alongside one of these massive things underwater. With all due respect to Sir Mix-a-Lot and Nicki Minaj, scientists say they've heard anecdotes of even larger snakes in the region, up to 25 feet long and weighing over 1,100 pounds. While you shouldn't necessarily worry about being bit by an anaconda as they're not venomous snakes, you're still probably better off not messing with these things unless you want to end up like Jon Voight.